Let us look at the next section, students. This section contains 3 questions. Each question has the answer in the form of double-digit integer. Okay. So let us start with question number 38. How many of the following is or are the correct statements? So option 1, it says carbon in different allotropic forms can act as an abrasive and also a lubricant. So this is correct statement, students. Diamond acts as an abrasive, students, and it is graphite which acts as a lubricant. Let us look at the second statement now. Sulfur melts to a clear mobile liquid at 119 degrees C, but on further heating above 160 degree, it becomes viscous. So this is a correct statement, students. It is a fact-based question. If you talk about option C now, in the preparation of hydrogen iodide from alkali iodides, H2SO4 is preferred over H3PO4. This is not correct, students. H2SO4 is going to oxidize the iodide to I2 as we do in the qualitative analysis. So this is an incorrect statement. If we talk about option 4 now, solid carbon dioxide is known as dry ice. This is a correct statement. Fact based again. If we talk about the fifth option now, anhydrous HCl is a bad conductor of electricity. This is a correct statement, students. Anhydrous HCl is a bad conductor of electricity because there are no free ions present. Okay, if we talk about option 6 now, fluorine can be prepared by the electrolysis of aqueous solution of alkali fluorides. This is also incorrect statement, students. The aqueous solution of alkali fluorides will not lead to the liberation of fluorine. If we talk about option 7, the molecules of stannous chloride is linear. So stannous chloride is SnCl2. So SnCl2 has a lone pair of electrons. It is a bent molecule. So statement 7 is also not correct. If we talk about the last one, ammonium chloride is acidic in liquefied ammonia solvent. So this is a correct statement, students. So out of these given statements, we can clearly see that statements 1, 2, 4, 5 and 8 are correct. So 5 of these statements are correct, and for this question we have to mark the answer as 05. Let us look at the next question now. Let us look at question number 39. When white phosphorus P4, it reacts with concentrated nitric acid to give oxide of nitrogen X and oxyacid of phosphorus Y in the simplest molar ratio of A:B, and the oxidation state of nitrogen in X and that of phosphorus in Y is C and D. We have to comment on the value of A plus B plus C plus D. Okay. So it is given to us that white phosphorus, it reacts with nitric acid concentrated. Okay. It forms oxide of nitrogen. So in presence of concentrated nitric acid, we know that NO2 is obtained. And if we talk about the phosphorus, it will be oxidized to its highest oxidation state. So it will form phosphoric acid. Okay. So we have to comment on the simplest molar ratio of A:B. So we have to deal with the N factors of these compounds. Okay. So if we talk about phosphorus, it is present in a state of 0 over here. So phosphorus is in a state of 0, and in the right hand side it is present in a state of +5. So the N factor of phosphorus has to be equal to 20. If we talk about the nitric acid now, so in nitric acid nitrogen is present in a state of +5. So it is reduced to +4. So the N factor of nitric acid is equal to 1. So we can clearly see that one molecule of P4 will have to react with 20 molecules of HNO3 to form the given products. Okay, now if we talk about the balancing, students, the H3PO4 has to be balanced with a 4 in order to balance the number of phosphorus atoms. And if we talk about the balancing of nitrogen atoms, students, so this NO2 is also to be multiplied by a factor of 20. So we have now conserved the number of atoms which are undergoing oxidation and reduction. We now have to figure out the balancing of the hydrogens and the oxygens. Okay, so if we talk about the oxygen now, students, in the left hand side we have 60 oxygen atoms, and if we talk about the right hand side we have 40 and 16. So there is a deficiency of 4 oxygen atoms. So adding 4 H2O to the right hand side should do it. We just have to check for the balancing of H atoms now. So if you talk about the number of H atoms on the right hand side, we have 12 and 8. So this is equal to 20. So H atoms on the right hand side is equal to 20. So on the left hand side it is also equal to 20. So students, this is the balanced reaction. Okay. If we talk about the information which is asked, so we have the oxide of nitrogen and the oxyacids of phosphorus being formed in the molar ratio of A:B. Okay. So A:B is equal to 20:4. So this is 5:1. Okay. And the oxidation state of nitrogen in the compound X is +4. So C is equal to +4. And if we talk about the oxidation state of phosphorus in Y, so that is equal to +5. So we have to add 5 and 1 and 4 and 5. Okay, so this gives us a value equal to 15. So students, for question number 39, we have to mark the correct answer as 15. Let us look at the last question for this paper. Let us look at question number 40 now, students. 3 moles of B2H6 completely react with ethanol. The number of moles of hydrogen gas produced is. So we can have the balanced reaction, students. So we have B2H6. It reacts with ETOH to give us BOET thrice. So the trialkyl borate or the triethyl borate is formed in this case, students, along with the liberation of hydrogen. Okay, so we can just start balancing the boron atoms. So boron are 2 in number. Okay, so we're going to have 6 ETOH on the left hand side in order to balance the ET groups. And if we talk about the hydrogen atoms now, students, there are a total of 6 plus 6, which is 12 H atoms on the left hand side. So there have to be 12 H atoms on the right hand side as well. So this H2 has to be balanced with a 6. Okay, so this is the balance reaction, students. Now it is given to us that 3 moles of B2H6 are allowed to completely react. So it means that the moles of H2 which will be formed shall be equal to 80. On the basis of this balanced chemical reaction, 1 mole of B2H6, it forms 6 moles of H2. So 3 moles of B2H6 are going to form 18 moles of H2. So for question number 40, students, we have to mark the correct answer as 18. Okay. This is it for today, guys. I hope the solutions were clear to you. Thank you.